So what I'm hoping is that these conversations will not be done. Because as a spiritual community, we are looking at how to put this unique expression of who we are compassionately out in the world. And know that we're all here for different things. That one father knew specifically what his job was because his son could not walk, and he knew very easily that that's what he had to do. That was his to do, to help him get back to himself. There's a whole world out there that needs to be gotten back to itself. And we have just the tools that we need to help with that. And so I want you to listen to this song that Michael and Diane have written, because it speaks to what things, animals, people are here to do.
Lightning was a thoroughbred, Kentucky born and raised. Folks say he might win it all, he's got what it takes. His owner isn't it for the money, his jockey wants a victory lap. Oh, but Lightning, he don't care about none of that. No, he's just here for the running, for the sunshine on his face. First or last, slow or fast, he just loves to race. Some days he'll outrun the wind, some days he might fall, but he's just here for the running, that's all.
Kenny's known to steal a base for his high school baseball team. Gets a hit, now he's on first, watch him take that lead. His dad is talking about the big leagues, his coach wants to win first place. Oh, but Kenny's just got his eye on second base, 'cause he's just here for the running, for the sunshine on his face. First or last, slow or fast, he just loves the race. And some days he'll outrun the wind, someday he might fall, but he's just here for the running, that's all. You gotta let your spirit ride on down that road of life, like a carefree child or a horse running wild. 'Cause we're just here for the running, for the sunshine
So because I have, for about 30 years or so, been a therapist, I'm always interested at new things they come up with out there. But when I saw this, I went, oh, this might be helpful for us. Because this is not like ADD or any of those things. Let me tell you what EDD stands for. Empathy Deficient Disorder. And the more that I researched it, the more I went, wow, that's the truth. Now, I'm not saying that we all have it, because I think we're pretty empathetic in this congregation, but I've had to look deeply within myself and go, where am I not being empathetic? And with whom am I not being empathetic? Most definitely. Because what this is saying is that there are moments in time when I choose to not be empathetic. If you actually decide you want to Google this and research, it basically says that when I decide I don't want to be empathetic, it's because someone does not believe what I believe, or live their life the way I live mine, or look like me, or act like me. Wow. And I know that there are times in my own personal life that I go, because I go, well, that person doesn't believe what I believe. But that isn't being empathetic. Ask Judy, I've been saying this all week. Whoops, that's not empathetic. Whoops, that isn't empathetic. Whoops, that wasn't empathetic. You'd be surprised at the things that you push away from yourself because they're different than you. So, I just want you to chew on that for a minute, because what I know is that there is much greater inside of all of us than that. And know that as your minister, that's my deepest desire. We had such an amazing Peace Day here, and people that we showed it to at Unity Village were just amazed at what we had created. And I'm like, that ain't nothing for this group of people. That's just one little speck of something. Because there is so much greater inside of us than this, which is what they're going to sing about.
It's where we live.
Can we come?
Telling you, every one of you, just one at a time. Two by two.
You might have one guest room. That's true, that's our morning walk right there. Help us out singing this. If I just stop to listen, I know I can find something greater in me. I am one with the power of spirit and mind, something greater in me. Life of abundance is all that I see, simply because I believe.
lesson. And I told Deb she might tell this, but I'm going to tell it because I want you to know about these amazing people. They used to come and play a lot for us when we were in Donaldson Plaza. And they moved to Colorado. And we sold some property, over $300,000 worth, that we got rolling into our facility before we ended up buying this. And because we're a tithing church, we said, we've got to tithe. We have to send 10% of that back out of the universe. And so we sat, Sharon was one of those people on the board, and we sat, we had so much fun, we prayed about who are we going to tithe to. And know that these amazing musicians are one of the groups that we tithe to, because we had been so blessed by their music and many other people's music. And we hadn't seen them in a while. When's the last time you've been here? 5 years? 6 years? 5 years. Just recently, I came into the office one day and they gave me this card and note, and when I opened it up, I was like, well, wow. It was a check for $1,000 from them for our church. The deal is, they believe what we teach. They teach it too. What I give comes back to me. And so when they called Judy or reached out to Judy, I said, oh yes, we're going to have them come in here. How awesome is that? Not just because they gave us $1,000, but because they are who they are. They know that there's something greater in them. They know that about us also. So I'm not going to leave you hanging with this EDD thing. I'm going to show you how you can get away from it, okay? How you can heal it in yourself, because you can. The first thing is to cultivate curiosity. That may be the hardest thing if you have pushed someone away. How many of you know you've pushed something or someone away? Yes. So how do you go about cultivating curiosity about something that you have already decided is bad? That's difficult. So know that we're going to be talking about this for a little while. Some of this stuff comes from the book that I'm going to be doing on Wednesdays in Lunch Munch starting in July, which is the 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life by Karen Armstrong. It's an amazing book. But if you can just stay in the place of curiosity when you realize you've pushed something away, that's the first step. I can just be curious about this. Because I know personally in my own life, I have at times gone, but then when I got to know somebody, wow, everything changed. Has that ever happened to you? You've seen somebody and you thought, ooh. But then when you get to know them, you go, they're kind of cool. Wow, wonder what I was thinking. Challenge your prejudice by discovering commonality. So the next step is, I'm not just going to be curious, I'm going to sit down and have a conversation with this person and find our commonalities. I will again tell you that July is at the 9th or the 10th, that's Saturday. We're having another circle in here, a peace circle. We had one at the church, the Church of the Living Waters recently. And I know those of you that were from here that went realize they may not theologically believe what we believe, but we all want the same thing. We all want peace. We all want our families to have peace. We all want each other to experience peace. We all go through the same kinds of stuff in our families and with relationships and jobs and things. And so what we have begun to find with this one congregation is that there are more similarities than there are differences. So let's focus on that. Anybody ever done any of that? You know the old Indian statement that says, walk a mile in my shoes? Or try to walk side by side with someone that you didn't necessarily agree with? How many of you have ever worked closely with someone that you didn't necessarily agree with? Yeah, there you go. There's the practice. And interestingly enough, as you start talking about things that may not be the issues that you don't agree with, you do begin to realize, hey, there's some commonalities here. They go to the grocery store too, just like me. Wow, they drive a car in the traffic, just like me. Wow. Listen with an open mind and, what's that last word? There's the bottom line here. Because I don't necessarily want to listen because I'm afraid they might change what I think. Dear God. Because I've held this belief strong in my beingness for how many years? Ooh, too many. Yeah. And so if I am vulnerable enough to be open enough to listen to what they have to say, now I can carry on a conversation with anybody, but that doesn't mean I'm listening. I'm just waiting for them to shut up so I can say the next thing, right? Right? Yeah. So I'm not vulnerable at all. Womp, 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 womp. You know what I mean? They're just talking, you're glazed over, you're in your mind going, what am I going to say next? Because they're wrong. I know they're wrong. Right? Vulnerability. Am I willing to listen for just a moment? Open enough to hear that thing that they're going to say, and I'm going to go, wow, we're the same. When I hear that, it's going to inspire me. Because if I go into a conversation thinking that I'm going to inspire and change them, guess what? They're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're going, I ain't listening to her. Womp, 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 womp. And you may have gone in with all of your guns blazing, whatever you want to say. And you may have all of the ideas about what they should be doing or what they shouldn't be doing, and you've got them all ready for them, right? Anybody ever raise children? It's exactly the same thing. And they don't listen to you either, at all. Sorry that you're sitting by your dad today, but that's I told your secret. I'm sorry. But if I'm willing to be inspired by them, guess what? They just might be unwilling to be inspired by me too. Because when you open up and listen, even to a child, there are magical things that you're going to hear that you would have never heard if you had your agenda already set. Can you imagine with me a world that would work for everybody? Know that that is a part of what our whole focus is going to be next year. I don't have all the wording exactly right, so I'm not going to steal my own thunder yet. But I want you to begin to help me hold the place in your consciousness that we can create a world that works for everybody. We don't have to have separate piles of people, and here's good people, and here's bad people, and here's the people I agree with, and here's the people I don't agree with, and here's the people I've got to convert to my way of doing it. That's that old church word that we don't like, but we do it in unity too. We just don't call it that. We just don't call it that. And when they don't say what we like, we go, love and light. Right? Love and light. Bless your heart, love and light. Just go right on doing that. So, I want you to think about everything that we've talked about today, because I did not want this to be just your average Sunday where you came in here and listened to me blab. I wanted you to have an experience of transformation. You've seen the video about the compassionate mother who forgave someone who killed her own son. You've seen the video of the compassionate father who was not going to allow his son to not walk again. He was determined. You've heard some amazing music. And so now I just ask you, if you're willing to begin to think about a world that works for all, what might be your action step? Because that's the Father. The Father energy in the divine mind is action. Mother is taking in, Father is action in the world. And might your next piece of action be trying a little kindness? Namaste.
Thank you all for having me 2 times in 1 month. This could become a habit. If you see a brother standing by the road with a heavy load, seeds and soul, and you find your sister falling by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you try a little kindness, when you overlook the kindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. Don't walk around the down and out with a helping hand instead of doubt. And the kindness that you share along the way might help someone along life's way. You've got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the kindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. You've got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you show a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. There are narrow-minded people on a narrow-minded street.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Michael and Diane. Let me tell you, if you don't enjoy music, why are you here? Because it's just what we do. It's time for us to have the opportunity to give, and we know that in giving is how we stay in the flow of receiving and giving and receiving and giving and receiving. It's like an endless loop. We want to be there. Take your gift, your tithe, your offering in your hand, and repeat with me. Say with me, please. I I express gratitude for all the good in my life. Each day brings wonderful surprises of abundance. And come forward and join us in the sacred walk of abundance.
almost the entire week with Edwina Gaines at the conference. And she has inspired me so very much that I'm going to read a prayer from Edwina. She is so thrilled that we're doing this Sacred Walk of Abundance because she thinks that's the way to go. So I just want you to open your hearts and your minds to this prayer that is from Edwina. The true income of this church is the inflowing of Spirit. It is unencumbered and undiminished by any mortal factor. This income manifests in a pattern of steady growth in the love, faith, and spiritual accomplishment among our members and our friends. All income is gratefully received and wisely distributed under the inspiration of the Christ mind. This church never lacks for faithful, enthusiastic, and generous financial support. Divine love supports and supplies without interruption or intermission. Heaven's bounty knocks on our doors every day, and we invite it. I want you to say that piece with me, a snippet at a time. Heaven's bounty knocks on our doors every day.
Heaven's bounty knocks on our doors every day.
And we invite it in.
And we invite it in.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. I got to tell you, I was so inspired today, Reverend D. I figured out I know exactly when I meet an enlightened person. Every single time. Because they believe exactly what I believe. And with that in mind, let's stand and sing and close this service.